How does Subaltern Studies critique liberalism? Have you ever wondered how the voices of marginalized groups challenge mainstream ideas? Today, we will look at how Subaltern Studies critiques liberalism and what that means for understanding power dynamics. Subaltern Studies emerged from postcolonial scholarship and focuses on the experiences of those outside dominant power structures. These marginalized groups, often called subalterns, offer a unique perspective on liberalism. At its heart, Subaltern Studies argues that liberalism tends to generalize political categories based on Western experiences, particularly those of the elite. Liberalism promotes individual rights and democracy, assuming these ideas apply to everyone. However, Subaltern Studies points out that this view overlooks the distinct histories and cultures of colonized peoples. In many cases, the political realities of these groups differ significantly from Western contexts. One key critique is that liberalism often emphasizes elite-led political processes. This focus can obscure the voices and agency of subaltern groups. For instance, while liberalism promotes legal equality, it may ignore ongoing social hierarchies that persist within liberal institutions. Subaltern Studies highlights that liberalism assumes a straightforward path toward democracy, which does not reflect the complexities of post-colonial societies. In these contexts, subaltern groups are often excluded or manipulated by elites. Additionally, Subaltern Studies challenges the binary thinking of liberalism, such as the divide between elite and subaltern or colonizer and colonized. This rigid framework can oversimplify social realities and ignore the fluidity of identities and alliances. By doing so, it risks alienating subaltern experiences from broader historical narratives and political possibilities. From a liberal perspective, these critiques suggest a need to broaden the understanding of political agency. Liberalism values freedom and equality, but it must also address the structural barriers that prevent marginalized groups from realizing these ideals. This means engaging with the specific contexts of post-colonial societies and adapting liberal principles to include subaltern voices. Practically, this involves promoting inclusive political participation that goes beyond just voting. It requires recognizing the importance of grassroots movements and non-elite actors in shaping political landscapes. It also calls for a critical reflection on liberalism's universal claims and an openness to diverse political forms and identities. In essence, Subaltern Studies critiques liberalism by highlighting its limitations in addressing the realities of marginalized groups, especially in post-colonial contexts. This critique encourages a more inclusive approach to democracy and freedom, one that acknowledges historical inequalities and seeks to empower all citizens, including those who have been excluded from traditional liberal narratives.